Whether you're ready for not, we got wholeness coming towards you. Well, I don't know why, but for some reason I've gotten sort of serious about wholeness. And I think as I pondered it, I thought, well, there's really two reasons for it, because wholeness is the foundation principle supporting the true statement that I spoke about last time. Nothing nor nobody is against me. Secondly, it can help us discover how real-life issues can be dismantled, taken apart, and thus become more manageable in little increments instead of the whole ball game. So the first thing I wanted to do was go back to revealing word, and that's the reference for wholeness in Unity's teaching. It says the perfect unification and expression of mankind as spirit, soul, and body. It is brought about by regeneration. I need to explain a couple of things that is typically unity, and that is the soul is defined as all aspects of mind. So we're looking at consciousness, unconscious, and subconscious parts of the mind. And regeneration is that aspect that we call the renewing of our mind, that we let go of the old and we bring in the new attitudes and thoughts. So I thought I'd have here your trinity of humankind. Now, have you ever had fun with people when you let them know that you're a student of Unity? And they say to you, "Do you believe the Trinity?" Now, my answer is always, yes. But I'm very careful whether I say all of them or stop earlier. We have so many trinities in Unity. Have you added them up? Metaphysical, and the traditional, and Unity's own. So how we look at outside ourselves no longer counts when we're talking about wholeness. Unity teaches us that we always look inside of ourselves for wholeness. More specifically, we look at the context. That's the bowl that holds our life as you relate to your life's experience. So wholeness is a way of relating where you are connected to your experience through the heart. Now, Jesus taught us to love our enemies. Now, that is possible when we see the situation or the other person as being a reflection of ourselves. For that other person or that situation is a mirror for us, teaching us something that's missing in our wholeness. So when we become aware of that, we open our hearts. We open our hearts. Then we can bring more love into the world and into ourselves. We can be ready to learn, ready to be blessed. It means we are connected with our experience because we are willing to stay present. We embrace our situation in life and we don't push it away. Now, the other way of relating from your wholeness is to know that you matter. If you need approval outside yourself, then you're not in your wholeness. You're relating to life from your wholeness means your presence matters because you know it matters simply because you're here right now. So with these two ways of relating, we have an opportunity to do good, which means doing the right thing. It may seem impossible when you're very uncomfortable in a situation to release your defensive, your need to be right, and then shift into the truth that no one is against you. It may be about the relationship, you with the other person, or it could be the other person is attempting to find more love and peace. And they're looking for you to help with that. If they could do it themselves, they would have. How does knowing your presence matter help to transform our life experiences? Well, we have a choice. We have a choice to be either the way of God or in the way of God. Yeah. Being the way of God means an avenue through which God's unconditional love is expressed through us. So let's look at the difference between being the way of God and being in the way of God from the context of wholeness. We know that we are the way of God when being connected to our experience, the other person, comes from a loving heart. We know that we are in the way of God when we are disconnected from our experience or the other person, and we find our thoughts are collecting evidence about us being right. I don't know about you, but that used to be one of my favorite things to do. And then I couldn't figure out why I wasn't very happy. Well, so when you are the way of God, knowing your presence matters is a truth that your heart already knows. That's why we move from here to here. But when you're in the way of God, thoughts of unworthiness come into you, and you begin to express that. Being the way of God is what the heart longs for. You notice how relaxed you become when you're in your heart versus when you're thinking. But when you're in the way of God, somehow this blame and judgment and critiquing as well as criticism develop to disconnect you from spirit, again, in your mind, in your thoughts. Now, unity teaches that we are innately whole. So then why do we have difficulties in our life? Well, that's usually because we're confusing our experience with who we truly are. So I'd ask you now to list, just sit there mentally and list all the things you have. Your home, car, family, your body, your feelings, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values. These are what you have, but they are not who you are. So our problems arise when we confuse with what we have with who we are, so that we behave in ways that cause us separation, needing to be right, controlling, or being defensive. Now, do you remember last time I spoke with you about that computer that didn't work? Yeah. I was ready to smash that Hummer. Yes. Did you see how I had made that computer my enemy? Yeah, I had. And yet, what was it? It was a computer designed to do what a computer can do. So the problem wasn't in the computer. It was with me. I was the one taking it personally. I was making its failure, the computer's failure to work, about who I am. That's an example of how I got confused about who I really was. I set myself up to be diminishing. I allowed my sense of incompetence handling computers to become anger and frustration. Trying to figure out the hardest thing I could find to smash it against. So my computer's doing fine now. So what changed in me? I paused. Remember that? Take a breath. Pause. I got a hold of my witness. I brought my witness forward. I began watching what was going on inside me at that moment. And I realized I was the one that had the missing piece. I was relating to that computer without any sense of wholeness. I was making a thing being against me. Now that is reptile mind. In the trinity of humankind, my spirit and my body were fine. But I had lost my mind. Yeah. And in unity, that means I lost my soul. The part of me that I truly am. I needed to relate to my computer experience from wholeness in a sense of worthiness. Wholeness. Wholeness is a way of relating where you are connected to your experience, you know your presence matters, and you are the way of God. In summary then, most of us have triggered times. Anybody that doesn't ever have a trigger occur? Yeah, right. Okay. All of us have triggered times in our lives, and on some unconscious level, we project our missing pieces onto things or others, especially in chaotic times. Watch it when you go on overload. We need to remain whole. So when our life experience becomes really very uncomfortable, we have the opportunity to examine ourselves and make a choice. We're not going to react. We're going to make a choice. Are we going to make something or someone else the matter with us? I hope not. For that is not the truth. Or are we going to use looking within ourselves, using our witness as an opportunity to find the missing piece in ourselves and give ourselves that gift of wholeness? We can create that wholeness. It is a gift we can give ourselves. So, should you accept the assignment, I ask you to move forward this coming week, noticing your life experiences. In each of your experiences, are you being in the way of God? Or can you change your thoughts, release your thoughts, move to a loving heart, make a better choice to bless yourself, to do good, moving into your wholeness so you truly can experience being the way of God. I'm going to ask you to meditate on that. And I'm going to invite you to move straight on into meditation now. This is a meditation of reflection. The words I will say are from a Taoist meditation given to me by a Buddhist nurse whom I worked with in hospice home care a lot of years ago. Get comfortable and relax. That's number one. Just get comfortable and relax. Take a nice breath, deep one. Close your eyes and you will see clearly. Cease to listen, and you will hear truth. Be silent and your heart will sing. Seek no contact, and you will find union. Be still, and you will move forward on the tide of spirit. Be gentle, and you will need no strength. Be patient. You will achieve all things. Be humble, and you will remain whole. And so it is. Amen.